Hey guys, Jerry here. Today we're going to go over how to make a brine for your pork butt. We're going to soak this thing in a brine for about 8 hours, and then we're going to get it out and smoke it. Let's get the details on the brine first. Let's go. What I'm making today is just a basic brine mix that you can use on any meat. It's going to have some Worcestershire, it's going to have some apple juice, some apple cider vinegar, some onion powder, some garlic salt pepper blend, some brown sugar, and some kosher salt. And that's the basic blend. We're going to add a little bit of water once we put it in the bucket to kind of just dilute it just a little bit. We're going to let that soak for about 8 hours, chilled in the refrigerator, and take it out, and then we'll smoke, get it all seasoned up and smoked. So let's get together with our blend first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take apple juice, and normally I would put a full container in here, but I've used some out of this. But I'm just going to pour this into my briner bucket. And you can use anything besides a briner bucket if you don't have one. You can use a big container, a 5-gallon bucket works with a lid. Just so, you got to remember that whatever you put this in, you've got to fit it back in the refrigerator. So then I'm going to get a measuring spoon out here. And I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. 1, 2. Some people use more than that, but I think that's plenty. Then we're going to go with brown sugar. And I need to get another scoop out. We're going to go with a cup of brown sugar. I think we use the light brown sugar. I'm not sure the difference in them. Just what my wife buys. So I'm going to go with about a cup, get just a little bit more. Not hardly in there all the way. Put that in there. Up. I'm gonna go with about a cup of salt, kosher salt. Pour that in there. And I'm gonna go back to my liquid mix. This is the garlic salt blend. This is Kinder's garlic salt blend. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of this in. 1, 2, a little more won't hurt it. I'm going to put my onion powder in. This is just onion powder, not flakes or anything. And the reason I use the onion powder is it tends to blend in better and gets into the meat a lot better. And I think that's it. I'm going to use our about a tablespoon of Worcestershire. And that is it. So now I'm going to take my whisk. I'm going to whisk that up. I'm going to mix that up real good for about 2 to 3 minutes. Just make sure everything's good and mixed in good. And then I want to take a little bit out. And the reason I want to take some out is for when we go to smoke this pork butt, I want to be able to add some of this brine mix after I shred it. I want to add some of this to it to help it have a little bit more of the juice in with it. And it turns out really good. So I'm just going to get about, you can see that, about half a cup. We're just going to save that. That's going to be our mix to add to it later. And you can see our mix. And that's about it. And what I would do from here is I would take my brine mix, I would take my pork butt, set it down in, after I've trimmed it and everything, set it down in this brine mix. And then if the liquid doesn't cover the top, then I take just a little bit of cold water. I'm going to add some water to it, just enough to make the liquid cover to the top of the pork butt. That way the entire pork butt is submerged. Then we're going to put our lid back on this thing and put this in the refrigerator and let it set for about 8 hours. Once we get that in there, we take it back out, and I'll show you the process after that. But that's my recipe on just a good generic pork butt brine.
You can use it for ham, you can use it for pork butt, you can use it for ribs, you can use it for about anything. That's my recipe. Thanks.